Wildlife crime is a serious transnational organized crime. It is a significant criminal problem that can involve national security.
It affects biodiversity, communities, and entire economies and threatens their sustainable economic development.
Many are surprised to learn that illegal wildlife trade is one of the largest criminal activities in the world. In fact, it ranks among the world's top illegal trades. Just the trafficking of animals and animal parts alone is estimated to bring in up to $10 billion every year. Add illegal fishing and timber to that number, and the profits are even more extreme, reaching as high as $26.5 billion a year.
The amount of money that is made by illegal wildlife trade is enormous. I mean, this is not one individual or a few individuals going around killing a few animals, as bad as that would be, and that would be bad. But it is wholesale slaughter of animals.
Demand for wildlife products in Asia is skyrocketing, making the region a major consumption hub and a hotspot for criminal wildlife trafficking. Illegal wildlife is sourced from within Asia, but also comes into Asia from other continents. Massive volumes of illegal products such as ivory and rhino horn are transported regularly from Africa to Asia, feeding an insatiable demand. Millions of sharks, including illegally sourced great white and whale sharks from both Asia and Latin America, find their way to Asian markets. So this nefarious trade has become a lucrative business for dangerous global crime syndicates.
We're very concerned about the large trafficking in wildlife products throughout Asia-Pacific region. ADB recognizes the enormous harm that these threats pose to economies throughout the region.
There are evidences to prove that it has become an organized crime globally because people who have been linked with arms and drugs have also been found to be linked with wildlife trade.
Nous avons un exemple au nord Gabon, nous avions 6000 trafiquants, orpailleurs illégaux qui en même temps braconnaient, et c'était une ville dans la ville. On était dans l'État, il y avait du trafic, bien sûr, de l'or, du trafic d'ivoire, du trafic d'hommes, du trafic de drogue, du trafic d'armes. Donc, l'ANP ne pouvait rien, l'agence de parc ne pouvait rien. Il a donc fallu que l'État intervienne pour mettre l'armée pour faire revenir la loi dans cette zone de non-droit.
These dangerous, organized criminal elements are endangering not just the lives of wildlife, but the lives of people and threatening national and regional security worldwide.
You have another type of poacher, which is quite dangerous now. So they will come in armed, looking for a rhino specifically. Come in obviously they come in with rifles, your AKs.
The challenges rangers are facing these days in the field to combat poaching is immense. You're up against criminal gangs who are armed with high-powered rifles. They're armed with night vision scopes, which means they can effectively use the daytime and the nighttime. And the rangers are not fully equipped to their standards.
We're talking about automatic weapons. We're talking about vehicles on which heavy weapons are mounted. We're talking about rocket-propelled grenades, basically war-fighting equipment.
We are seeing Poachers being former soldiers who are trained in actual combat. And this is not a skill normally imparted upon the rangers under ordinary conservation circumstances. So the challenges they are faced is very high.
So it's a problem that not only affects the species in the natural world, it threatens local communities, which in turn then threatens economies at local and national levels.
Kingpins of the wildlife trade feel confident they can continue this violent, destabilizing activity with impunity due to weakly enforced national and international regulations, lack of effective prosecutions, and low penalties. This makes wildlife crime a low-risk, yet high-profit crime.
There are laws on the books in a lot of places. They're not getting enforced well. In some places, the laws are not strong enough and they need to be improved. In some places, the laws are strong and countries are trying to enforce them, but the issue is not a high-level political priority, and so they're not getting the support they need politically within their countries to prosecute the crimes.
The traders, the illegal traders, they're criminals, they're essentially criminals. And more so than a lawyer, they know the law. They know the loopholes within the law. They know how to circumvent the law to operate the way they're operating.
It's enormously destabilizing because these people bribe judges, they bribe border guards, they in some cases bribe rangers, in other cases they bribe villagers to let them camp out in these areas. They, in effect, take a slice of a country, a portion of a country, and make it ungovernable for the government of that country. They lose control over it. They lose control over their judiciary, lose control over their borders, lose control over their police system because they're bribed. Or if they're not bribed, they're intimidated. So it undermines the governance process in a lot of countries who are struggling themselves to govern, and now they have this additional destabilizing factor.
Wildlife crime and the threats and instability it brings is only escalating each year as these criminal activities continue unchecked. To stop this, every country needs to treat wildlife trafficking like the serious crime it is. And we need this to happen fast before the situation gets far worse.
This is essentially transnational organized crime of an immense scale, and it requires a similar response.
It's inside the control chain that we have to change the system. It's there that we have to tackle the key elements on which we have to work.
At ADB, we're working with all levels of national governments to help them raise awareness of the issue, to promulgate appropriate laws and regulations, and to effectively enforce them.
This is an area which is difficult, but we need to put our resources together. We need to work collectively. And ADB is committed to work with this institution in any ways we can in order to help such issues resolve in the region. We consider this a part of our responsibility together with the others.
As Chief Justice, it is my responsibility to ensure the Malaysian judiciary applies the highest standards to upholding the rule of law. In Malaysia, last year I issued a direction establishing environmental criminal courts, which will hear wildlife cases. I've also instructed the Malaysian judiciary to treat wildlife crime as of the utmost gravity and to apply the strongest penalties appropriate to the case. Likewise, I would encourage other judiciaries, prosecutors and law enforcement agencies to approach these grave crimes with a severity that matches their magnitude.